Just a few days after Investment, Industry and Trade Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria announced that he will sign a Gazette notice allowing importation of 10 million bags of GMO maize duty-free for the next 6 months, ODM leader Raila Odinga has accused the Kenya Kwanza administration of betraying Kenyans after authorizing the purchase of GMO foods without conducting public participation on the matter. According to Odinga, this action will put Kenyans at risk of greedy international companies.
In other words, GMOs can completely wipe out native and natural crops, leaving Kenyans dependent on seeds and foods produced by GMO multinationals. These foods pose a direct threat to our health, our farmers, soils, institutions, and seeds. GMOs are a new form of colonialism that will leave us permanently at the mercy of foreign nations and greedy multinational corporations.
Odinga has also asked the government to provide a scientific investigation report that they use to approve the use of GMO because according to the research, GMO has health risks to it. He also highlighted some countries where GMO is still banned.
Typically cleared GMOs as fit for human consumption and the environment. Studies that have come close to giving GMOs a clean bill of health are generally those sponsored by the biotechnology companies themselves or their associates. We challenge the government to share with Kenyans the scientific study it is relying on to declare the GMO maize as fit for our consumption and our environment. GMOs can cause harm to human and animal life and to the entire national ecosystems. They can dramatically reduce or eliminate plant diversity. It is an established fact that once GMOs are introduced, it is virtually impossible to stop their transfer where natural crops are grown because of wind and insect pollination.
Odinga has also called on CS Kuria to apologize to Kenyans for his remarks on GMO, where he said there are many things that are killing Kenyans and it will be okay to include GMO in that list.
Being in this country, you are a candidate for death. And because there's so many things competing for death, there's nothing wrong with adding GMO to that list. That is why we have deliberately decided to allow GMOs into this country.
Leaders from Western Kenya region have disapproved the trade CS sentiments over the importation of genetically modified maize. Speaking at Sango Ward in Lukuyani constituency during the homecoming of the area MCA Ken Lutilo, the leaders termed the sentiments as reckless, arguing that it might land the country into a health crisis.
Fungie mahindi ya kutoka nje, watu wetu wauze mahindi yao, wapate pesa, wasaidie watu wao. Na baada ya hapo kama serikali kutakuwa na upungufu wa mahindi, basi wanaweza kufungua mipaka. Lakini kwa sasa naomba serikali yetu ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto ya kwamba wafungie mahindi ya kutoka nje isikuje kwa sasa hivi.
Led by Kakamega Deputy Governor Ayub Savula, they urged the government to provide subsidized fertilizers and other farm inputs in an effort to avert the food insecurity which has affected most parts of the country.
National government ipatie wakulima mbolea na mbegu. Tupande mahindi, waachane na maneno ya kutuambia wanatoa mahindi kule ngambo ya GMO. Wakulima hapa Likuyani are ready to produce maize to serve this country. Kenya iwe na food security.
On his side, Likuyani Member of Parliament Innocent Mugabe said he will sponsor a motion in Parliament which will compel the sale of maize through the cooperatives in an effort to avoid farmer exploitation.
Na sisi tunawaambia hii maneno ya GMO, pelekeni hii maneno polepole. Kama kuna nchi kubwa duniani wale ambao wanaelewa hii maneno wamekataa maneno ya GMO. Sisi tuchukue na utaratibu sana. Na ile ambayo inanikasirisha sana kama mjumbe wa Likuyani ni kwamba wanataka kuimport mahindi. Na hiyo mahindi ikija saa hizi, hii tunauza 1500 itarudi shilingi 2000. Tunamwambia tuko na mahindi, angoje tuuze yetu iishe ndio tufikiria kuleta nini? Mahindi ingine.
2 weeks ago, religious leaders asked the government to find other ways in the biotechnology space to address the food shortage crisis experienced in the country, saying that the decision by the government to lift the ban was rushed and did not follow the right public participation procedures. While airing their concerns on the lifting of the GMO ban, the leaders called for the making public of Professor Thairu's committee report findings on GMO. In November 2012, President Mwai Kibaki banned GM foods after Public Health Minister Beth Mugo raised safety concerns. Kenya Medical Research Institute KEMRI had raised a concern on the potential cancerous effect on consumption of GM crops. Some experts say it was a knee-jerk and emotional reaction. The ban, however, stuck for nearly 10 years.